Everybody and welcome. In today's episode, we're going to talk about social media. We are going to discuss the impact of social media, the challenges that people face when it comes to social media, and also the opportunities that these platforms offer. So the focus of today's session is going to be on the pros and cons of social media. مزايا وعيوب وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي. Pros and cons, مزايا وعيوب. Social media هي وسائل التواصل. So we're going to explore both the positive aspects and negative aspects. الجوانب الإيجابية والجوانب السلبية. So let's get started by the pros. Talking or discussing the pros. دعنا نبدأ بمناقشة الإيجابيات أو المزايا. The first thing is communication and connection. Okay, so social media platforms instantly connects people across continents, which enables real-time conversations. Now, regardless of physical distance, regardless of where you live. So تربط وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي الأشخاص بشكل فوري عبر القارات, okay, across continents, مما يتيح المحادثات conversations بشكل وقت فعلي, real-time conversations, regardless, بغض النظر عن المسافة الجغرافية, regardless of the physical distance, البعد. Another pro, ميزة أخرى, is access to information. Okay, access to information, الوصول إلى أو سهولة الوصول إلى المعلومات. So these platforms, هذه المنصات, offers or تقدم the opportunity الفرصة that you have access to real-time news, الأخبار العاجلة, breaking news, and it reaches people instantly. تصل الناس instantly, بشكل مباشر, بشكل فوري. Another really, and I like this quite a lot, and really I think there's something really helped me, which is related to diverse perspectives. Diverse perspectives هي وجهات نظر متعددة, مختلفة ومتعددة. So these platforms, هذه المنصات, gives you the opportunity or access to multiple viewpoints, multiple perspectives, multiple opinions. Okay, تعطيك الفرصة إلى الوصول إلى أفكار, وجهات نظر مختلفة. Multiple viewpoints, وجهات نظر متعددة, which in my opinion, برأيي, can lead to a more balanced understanding of complex issues, والتي ممكن أن تؤدي إلى خلق فهم أكثر توازنا للقضايا المعقدة. So you need to have a balanced view. Okay, historically, تاريخيا, this used to be dominated or controlled by mainstream media. هذه كانت معلقة, أو خلينا نقول, أو let's say تم التحكم بها by traditional media. Okay, وسائل التواصل التقليدية مثل التلفاز, like TV and radio, والمذياع. So now you have diverse perspectives, different opinions, which I think is really important, مهم جدا, for a balanced understanding. And also nowadays you have crisis awareness. So whenever there is a fire or an earthquake or an explosion, كان هنالك حريق or explosion, تفجير, or a crisis or كارثة, people post on social media, to notify others, to give vital information about their safety, etc. So in that way, or in that sense, is also quite helpful. مفيدة أيضا من هذه وجهة النظر. Now, another important thing, which I believe is perhaps quite useful, especially for businesses. One of the pros that it offers opportunities in business and education. So if you are in the business world, إذا كنت في مجال الأعمال, إذا كنت في مجال education, التعليم والتربية, it offers, these platforms offer opportunities for growth, فرص للتنمو أو للنمو Okay, so small businesses reach global audiences. الشركات الصغيرة تصل إلى جماهير عالمية. Okay, without massive marketing budgets. بدون الحاجة إلى ميزانية تسويقية ضخمة. So I think this is one of the benefits. واحدة من المزايا أو الفوائد of social media platform من وسائل التواصل منصات التواصل الاجتماعي. Also, it gives businesses the opportunity to engage, direct engagement, التواصل أو التفاعل المباشر with their customers مع الزبائن, their customers and clients, العملاء. And this way, it helps build loyalty and also provide immediate feedback. So هذا التفاعل مع العملاء يبني الولاء, you build loyalty, and also يوفر تعليقات فورية. Okay, وجهات نظر فورية, رأي customers. Another important factor or pro is education. There's quite a lot of educational opportunities available to you online. هنالك الكثير من الفرص التعليمية المتوفرة على منصات التواصل الاجتماعي. So you have free courses, دورات مجانية أو كورسات مجانية. Resources, الكثير من الموارد. Okay, and you have really quality materials, مواد high quality, نوعيتها جيدة جدا. This is available to you, accessible to you, متوفرة أيضا يمكنك سهلة الوصول, and these are for free بشكل مجاني. And I think that's one of the pros, sorry, not the cons. Now, if we look at this from a different perspective, if we look at it from the perspectives of those who are a bit wary or not 100% sure about the positive aspects of social media, some people argue that there are also quite a lot of cons when it comes to social media platforms. وهنالك أيضا بعض العيوب أو الكثير من العيوب بما يخص موضوع أو شبكات التواصل أو منصات التواصل الاجتماعي. The first thing is people argue, الناس ممكن أن تجادل, is that data exploitation. Okay, استغلال data أو data, المعلومات. Okay, so they say that your personal information are collected by these platforms and frequently is used for targeted advertising. Sometimes these giant or social media platforms may sell them to third parties without transparent consent. So غالبا ما يتم استخدام معلوماتك الشخصية التي تجمعها هذه المنصات وتستهدف الإعلانات, وأحيانا أيضا تباع to third parties, أطراف ثالثة, okay, دون موافقة شفافة. Okay, there's no clear policy, يعني لا يوجد هنالك سياسة واضحة about how they sell your data, كيف يبيعون بياناتك. So people also argue that we have some of these platforms, or they are under the risk, تحت خطر of security breaches. So security breaches تتعرض لاختراقات كبرى للبيانات. So it means that your identity, شخصيتك, your information can be accessed, can be used by malicious actors. ممكن أن يتم أو الوصول لبياناتك من جهات خبيثة. Okay, malicious actors or parties, and this could also lead to identity theft. ممكن يؤدي إلى سرقة الهوية. It's another important thing. What do you think? Do you agree? Now, I found this quite interesting also because there are nowadays, especially I think in the last 5 years or so, خلال السنوات الخمسة الماضية, there are quite a lot of reports, videos, podcasts talking about the impact of social media on our health, particularly our mental health and productivity. تأثير وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي على الصحة العقلية and productivity. Productivity هي الإنتاجية. So people argue that unfortunately for many people, social media platforms are addictive. تؤدي إلى الإدمان. So you have an addiction problem, مشكلة إدمان. some people, including myself, sometimes I feel myself like I'm a social media addict. Okay. أنا مدمن على السوشيال ميديا أو وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي. So ممكن بعض الناس تقول ذلك. So that's really difficult. So addiction, الإدمان, is a problem. And also social anxiety. Okay, social anxiety. Anxiety تؤدي إلى القلق الاجتماعي. So you're always comparing yourself to someone else. Most of the time you've got people who are living kind of, a life يعيشون حياة online, حياة على الإنترنت, and offline, حياة خارج الإنترنت. And this, people living kind of a curated version or curated lives, حياة منسقة منمقة بعيدة عن الحقيقة بعيدة عن الواقع. So it's not realistic. And then people start making comparisons. الناس تبدأ في المقارنات, and it could have an impact on your mental health, on your well-being and your self-esteem. يعني ممكن يكون له تأثير على صحتك النفسية صحتك العقلية أيضا self-esteem. Okay. And sometimes you feel people, they are really disconnected from real life. يعني they spend a lot of time on social media platform, يقضون الكثير من الوقت على وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي, and they are disconnected, منفصلين نهائيا from everyday life. وهذا يأتي على حساب your personal relations, يأتي على حساب علاقاتك الشخصية. Finally, they talk about productivity loss. Productivity loss هي فقدان الإنتاجية. So you are distracted, أنت مشوش. You're not focusing, you can't focus, you can't concentrate because you have constant notifications. عندك الإشعارات المستمرة. And also you have the fear of missing out. عندك الخوف of missing out أن يفوتك شيء. وهذه ظاهرة حقيقية تدعى FOMO. ظاهرة FOMO معناها the fear of missing out. الخوف أن يفوتك شيء. And social media platforms, companies, وهذه الشركات تستغل هذا الشيء. Okay. So this impacts our productivity and reduces work efficiency. يؤدي إلى التأثير على الإنتاجية وأيضا التقليل من كفاءة العمل. So what should we do in this case? And another important thing also, perhaps before we talk about what we would do, is misinformation and bullying. هناك الكثير من المعلومات الخاطئة للأسف on the internet, على الإنترنت, and also bullying, cyberbullying, okay, المضايقات عبر الإنترنت. So this is another important factor to be aware of when it comes to the cons. So what do we do? How can we look at this kind of in a balanced way? I think you need to be careful about this. And I think the key aspect here, or the key thing here, is you need to be conscious of your consumption. تكون واعيا لاستهلاكك. Okay? So do not overconsume content. لا تستهلك المواد. Okay? Content, المحتوى بشكل كبير. Okay? And also you need to be careful about your privacy. Like your information, your personal information, etc. And also make sure that you set time limits. تضع حدود زمنية to create free tech zones, free social media time to maintain real world connection, لتحافظ على الاتصالات في العالم الحقيقي. So tell me, what are your thoughts on social media platforms? What are other cons you can think of? Please let me know both cons, pros and cons of social media. Please let me know your thoughts. And I would be quite curious to learn more about your experiences with social media platforms. So thanks very much, everyone. And see you next time. Thank you.